You know, for decades, Nigeria's economy has been powered by oil. It's the black gold that's defined its fortunes. But what if the next boom, the next black gold, isn't a fossil fuel at all? What if it's the very infrastructure of intelligence itself? Today, we are diving deep into a new strategic blueprint for Nigeria's future, one that's built on a really powerful idea, that AI is the new oil.
And look, this isn't just some catchy phrase. This comes directly from Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, the company literally building the engines of the entire AI revolution. He's made it crystal clear. AI isn't just software you buy off the shelf, it's fundamental national infrastructure, just like your roads, your ports, and your power grid. The message is simple. You either build it yourself or you risk getting left behind.
All right, so here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll look at the huge global market forces that are creating this opportunity in the first place. Then, we'll unpack this specific build, rent, own strategy for Nigeria. After that, we'll explore how to make sure it creates real Nigerian jobs. And finally, we'll wrap up with a serious reality check on the hurdles and, more importantly, the path to success.
So you might be asking, why now? Why is this massive opportunity opening up for a country like Nigeria at this exact moment? Well, it's not some hypothetical far-off idea. It's happening because the world's biggest tech companies are running into a massive physical barrier. They've hit a wall, a global power wall.
This is really the perfect storm. You've got these three huge forces all converging at once. First, power grids in the US and Europe are basically full. If you want to plug in a new data center, you could be waiting for years. Second, there's the physics. You just can't serve 200 million Nigerians, let alone the entire African continent, with real-time AI from servers in Virginia. The lag or latency makes it impossible. And third, you've got data sovereignty. New laws are popping up everywhere that force companies to store and process data inside a country's borders. These three things together make a location like Nigeria not just a nice-to-have, but a strategic necessity.
So this massive global problem, it needs a totally new kind of solution, and that's exactly where Nigeria's strategic opportunity lies. The goal here isn't just to be a consumer of AI. The play is to become the landlord of the very infrastructure that's going to power AI for the entire continent.
Okay, let's be blunt about the biggest challenge. The absolute first thing any serious investor is going to bring up is energy. See, AI model training can run for weeks on end. A single millisecond of power loss can corrupt the entire process, wasting millions of dollars. So relying on the existing national grid, with its well-known reliability issues, it's just a non-starter. It's not an option for this kind of mission-critical job. So how do you solve it? Well, you don't. You go around it. The solution is to build what are called independent power islands. Think of them as dedicated self-contained power plants, maybe using Nigeria's huge natural gas reserves or its solar potential that are built for one reason and one reason only: to provide clean, uninterrupted 24/7 power directly to a data center campus. It completely bypasses the national grid, de-risking the entire plan right from the start. Now, once you've got that dedicated power sorted, the business model becomes super clear. It's a model called co-location. Here's how it works. Nigeria, probably through public-private partnerships, builds the shell. That's the high-tech building with all the dedicated power and cooling infrastructure. Then you rent that secure space to the hyperscalers. You know, the Googles, the Amazons, the Microsofts of the world. They become your tenants. They bring in their own expensive servers and tech. Nigeria provides the real estate. They provide the racks. Okay, building these shiny new data centers, that's just phase one. Phase two is making absolutely sure that this multi-billion-dollar investment directly benefits the Nigerian people. This isn't just about concrete and steel. It's about turning that infrastructure into high-paying jobs and valuable skills for the local population. And that requires smart, proven policy.
And here's the best part. We don't have to reinvent the wheel here. A powerful blueprint for this already exists. It's called the Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry Content Development Act, or NOGCDA. It was passed back in 2010 to do this exact thing for the oil and gas sector, to maximize the use of Nigerian people and Nigerian materials. We just need to adapt this proven legal playbook for the AI era.
At the very core of that law is this specific legal term, Nigerian content. Now, this isn't some vague feel-good idea. It's a legally defined and measurable quantum of composite value. It's about deliberately and systematically developing local capacity by using Nigerian talent, Nigerian materials, and Nigerian services. This is the legal foundation you build on to ensure the benefits stay right there in the country.
In this table here, this is where the rubber really meets the road. It shows you exactly how you can adapt those old oil and gas laws for AI. You can mandate that Nigerian companies get the first shot at construction and service contracts. You can set minimum percentages for Nigerian hires in those valuable maintenance and operations jobs. You can even require the tech giants to fund local AI training labs as part of a tech transfer plan. And this last one is huge. You can put a 4-year limit on roles held by expatriates before they have to be Nigerianized and handed over to a trained local. This is how you build a world-class domestic workforce.
All right, let's ground this whole strategy in reality. Any smart policymaker or investor is going to ask about the risks, and we need to face them head on. But it's just as important to understand that there is a very clear precedent for success that directly addresses those exact challenges.
This chart right here, this tells you everything you need to know. It shows exactly why those independent power islands we talked about are not just a clever idea, they are an absolute necessity. The gap between Nigeria's total installed power capacity and what's actually available on the grid day-to-day is massive. The sovereign AI strategy has to be built on new, dedicated, and rock-solid power generation, period.
But let's ask the tough question. Does this kind of national policy actually work? Can you really force the hand of global tech giants to hire locally? Well, the answer is a resounding yes. Just look at this number. When that Najigdal law was passed in 2010, local content in the oil and gas sector was stuck at around 5%, but by 2017, it had jumped to 26%. That is hard data. It's proof that with focused, consistent policy, you can dramatically increase local participation and create real, tangible value and jobs.
So when you boil it all down, the strategic choice for Nigeria is incredibly stark. It's standing at a crossroads with two very different paths forward. Path one is to remain a consumer, exporting its best and brightest talent, importing all its technology, and relying completely on foreign clouds. Path 2 is to become an owner, building the infrastructure to keep African data in Africa, creating high-value jobs at home, and becoming the landlords of the continent's digital future.
And this is the vision. This is the goal. A future where Nigeria isn't just a market to sell technology to, but a critical, indispensable hub in the global AI network. A nation that has finally leveraged its own vast resources to build a truly integrated digital economy, all powered by its own modern infrastructure.
So, it all comes down to this one, final, crucial question. The world's need for AI compute power is undeniable, and it's growing exponentially every single day. Nigeria has the energy potential, it has the young talent, and it has the perfect strategic location to meet that demand. The only question left is, who is going to step up and build the pipeline?